Hi Willow class, happy Monday. I hope you had a really lovely weekend. So this week we are going to be doing lots of different learning. Today we're going to be thinking about plastic pollution. On Tuesday we're going to be doing some science, thinking about classification keys. And on Wednesday we're going to be doing some guided reading tasks together, thinking about developing our English skills. So we've got some lovely things we're going to be doing together this Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. So today we are thinking about plastic pollution and how we can save our oceans.
If you want a maths challenge today, press pause now.
So for our task A, we are learning to understand the negative impacts of plastic, and we are going to be thinking about ending plastic pollution today. So let's start off by warming up together. What is plastic pollution? What is it? Have a think. Discuss this maybe with someone discuss this with someone in your family perhaps. What is plastic pollution? And main task today, first of all, I'd like you to watch this video, which is here, and I'll put it in the bottom of this video, so you can hopefully click onto it easily. It's a video of Sir David Attenborough talking about his series that he made, Blue Planet, and thinking about plastic and waste. So hopefully that's a good introduction. And then I've got some bits and pieces here for you to read, please. And we've been thinking a lot about comprehension together over the last few weeks. It would be really, it's a really useful thing to highlight any key information you think is relevant or important and circle those difficult words that you're maybe not sure about how to read. So have a little read of this. You can do this on your own or with someone in your family. And once you have read it, then we are going to need to know this information for our task B, actually, the beginning, our warming up for task B. So make sure you do highlight information, make sure you know some new facts about plastic pollution. If you want to take it further today, I've got an outline here of a letter that maybe you would like to write to your local MP, your local government representative, explaining the negative impacts on plastic pollution. So if you would like to have a go at trying to write a letter and making some change yourself, then you can do that if you would like to take it further. But do remember, these taking it further challenges are totally optional. It's up to you whether you want to do them or not. It's just there as a wee extra if you'd like it. So for task B, we are learning to research plastic pollution in different countries. So we're thinking about plastic pollution around the world. To get us warmed up, I've got some questions here which link to what we did in task A. So have a little think about answering these. You've got 3 questions. First one, what does reduce mean if we think about reduce, reuse and recycle? Then I've got some questions where you've got to match them up together. Remember to use a ruler if you're writing them down, or if you just want to just discuss it, that's absolutely fine. And then number 3, name 2 issues which are caused by plastic. And then our main task today, just underneath, I'll show you in a minute, we'll go through it together. There's a booklet and it's all about plastic pollution. You need to choose a country that you want to research. So it can be any country in the world. I've given you examples. It could be China or Australia or Scotland. It could be somewhere special to you in your family. It could be somewhere you've been on holiday. It might be somewhere you want to go. It might be somewhere you don't know anything about. You just look on Google Maps or a globe and you choose somewhere totally random. Choose a different country, and that's the country you're going to research. So let's have a look at it together. So plastic pollution in. Here, this bit is where you're going to write the country that you're researching. You can design the flag that they've got here in this space. Then you've got different activities to do with that country you're researching. So logo, design a logo that could be used in your country, the one you're researching, to encourage people to recycle or stop using plastic. Label the country that you're researching on the map below. So find it on a map and you could maybe draw a little pinpoint where it is and an arrow out and label it. What could they do to stop plastic pollution? So what could the people in the country you're researching do to stop plastic pollution? Think of some ideas. At the moment, what are they doing to deal with plastic pollution? Have the government put in place some plans? Are there companies that are doing special things? Are they not doing very much at all? I want you to do some research here. And then I'd like you to find out some facts about that country you are learning about, what their capital city is, what continent they're in, what's their population, are there any famous landmarks, what are the closest oceans and seas, are there any famous people from that country, and are there any other facts that you can find out about your chosen country? What do they do with their plastic? What effect does plastic pollution have on their country? Okay, so that's your little booklet you're going to be doing as your main task. If you'd like to take it further today, then I've got some debate cards right at the bottom, and I'll go through them with you now. And maybe you would like to have a discussion with your family or your friends virtually. So let's have a little look at them. So you've got 4 different opinions, and you need to kind of put yourself in these people's shoes, or these examples shoes, and how would you feel and what would you want to do going forward? So they're going to be people with different opinions. So you've got a consumer, that's somebody who buys things. So buyer number 1 or consumer number 1, what's their point of view? Consumer or buyer number 2, what's their point of view? Then you've got a point of view from a shop owner and a point of view from an environmental volunteer. And these people are going to have different opinions and different views, just like we do in everyday life. We have different opinions and views. We're not the same, are we? It'd be very boring if we were all the same. So if you were each of these people, how would you feel, and how would we move forward in this situation where we've got so much plastic? How could we find some common ground and move forward together? So if you want to take it further, that's what you're going to do today. So for task C, we are learning to consider both sides of an argument. We're thinking about the pros and the cons. And it's a really important thing to be able to do this, because a lot of things in life aren't all good or all bad. So we need to consider both sides of the argument, because you'll come across people in your life who agree with you and people who disagree with you. And it's important to try and see both sides of the argument, even if you don't agree. So first of all, to warm up, I'd like you to think about answering these questions about plastic pollution. Remember, when we warm up, you can choose to write your answers, or you can choose to just discuss it. You don't necessarily have to write your answers down, but here are the questions, or the things I want you to think about. So first of all, can you identify 3 objects that are made from plastic? Here are some keywords if you're writing things down, or just there so you can read them and know them. Then I'd like you to think or write about 3 positive statements about plastic. What are the positive things about plastic? And then I want you to think or write about 3 problems that are caused by plastics. Okay, so we're already beginning to think about the pros and the cons here. Then your main task, I'd like you to create a poster today about plastic pollution, all the things you've learned about today through your task A, B, and C. So you're thinking about including facts you've learned about today and the pros and cons for using plastics. If you would like to have a special plastic pollution border, then I've got a border here where you could make your poster inside of it, or maybe you could make your own poster. Sorry, obviously you're making your own poster. Maybe you could make your own border or find your own one online. That's fine. My one's just there as a guide if you want it. And then if you want to take it further today for task C, I've written here, have a discussion with your family. Is there anything you can do as a family to make changes to the way you use plastics at home? And if you do want to have a think about as a family what you can do, in my BBC Good Food magazine from last week, they've got a 2-page spread of 7 ways to cut down on plastic. So I've just put that in there, just in case you're interested and want to read about it and find ways as a family that you can cut down on your plastic. That's there just as a little extra if you'd like it. Thank you for working so hard today.